Okay, there's a quick little thing I wanted to show that is important to optimize this guy even further. So I want to make sure, yeah. So in once again, like NeosVR, as we know at the moment. So when you bring up the blend shapes, I even, like, for example, like moved some of these. So if you look closely, I made the face look different here. Like I squished in his nose, even modified his eyes. So like, just to show, like, as example, pull that in and out. There's quite a few like eye things that I did here. So you could do all your modifying, and the big thing to make sure, if you leave things at 0, like, may not like add networkingness of like having to like go frame by frame checking where these values are if they're just sitting at 0. But once they're out of 0, it like would have to think about it, I think, from what I hear. But even so, just loading up the avatar, there would be a big spike with this so many amount of blend shapes. You would want to do this going through each blend shape. There's a button right here, bake non-driven blend shapes. You click that, it processes it. 442 blend shapes from that mesh has like been baked away, and now the face is still changed its appearance, and it's still like that. And that will keep from any like giant lag spikes loading in with your avatar. So you'd want to keep you want to save 2 copies. You'd want to save one like without it baked, just so in case you ever want to change the appearance. But then definitely bake one, and it'd be the one that you would want to favorite. Which to favorite, you go in your inventory, select your avatar that gets saved, and then there's a heart-shaped button for you. And when it's like displays as kind of like pink on it, means that you will load it in that avatar all the time. And so you'd want to go through each of these and hit this bake, just to bake everything that you want to like keep, because all these meshes has good amount of blend shapes. And usually what I do before I save it is then I go to the very root node, which again, to find the meshes is like you bring it up like this. You find centered root node, and then there's all the meshes. Oops. I clicked the button there and pulled out another thing. Trying to get this to the top. There's like other mods and stuff to like get different inspectors, but going up to here, oh yeah, I usually like to put like OPT like as optimized, and then I save like that, and then you know which version is optimized. So I wanted to make this quick little video to just to make sure anyone using any you could do this with any avatar, is especially any that has a enormous amount of blend shapes, is be sure to go through and bake them. There's another button in here, by the way, to that I heard may add more optimizing is there's a button right here, separate parts of mesh unaffected by blend shapes. So after you bake them away, there's quite a bit of the mesh that, and I think that like helps separate out the part of the mesh that's not going to be animated. And I heard that like helps on some but it'd be like very like I think it's very minor, but I a lot of times do that also. So like I could go in here. So this obviously has no blend shapes, and this is all the mesh that isn't moving by blend shape from me baking all those. So yeah, you can do, that's another of the buttons. I think there's like uh other things like maybe if you have like bones that aren't skinned, there's a way to like strip empty bones like this, strip even like empty blend shapes, which obviously this doesn't have any. I think that's just stripping away like the ones that are like just created just to like to organize display them. But I organize mine with like letters by alphabetizing through. I do a script in Blender that just alphabetizes them, and because I originally create this in Maya, and Maya does not have an easy way to just organize blend shapes. It just, for some reason, does, as far as the version I have, there's just not a tool to like easily modify that. You'd have to detach all the blend shapes, reattach them in the various order because it orders them on when you put those blend shapes on the mesh, and that's how it bakes the FBX out or exports it out. Is the FBX would have them ordered like that. So that's why I do it the way that I have it. FT being like face tracking. That's why you see mainly these. So yeah. So that's the major thing. Make sure you bake non-driven blend shapes, and that will help anyone from like take away hopefully from anyone complaining on like you loading in and like, oh my goodness, that has way too many blend shapes to load in, and especially if you move them out of like the zero state, and you go through like every blend shape and you move them out like that, you'd probably really lag a lot of people having all those blend shapes just where the system would have to like kind of go through it from what I heard. I'm actually not too sure on all that. If they're not like being loaded simply because they're not like changing value, like might not be doing too much. But if you're just going to leave them like that anyway, just you might as well bake them out. And I was doing that as an example of like I changed the appearance of the face a lot, and I baked the blend shapes away. So you of course can't revert it, and that hence why it's important to keep another copy that doesn't have them baked away. That would be the copy if you want to like do any changes to it and stuff. So that's all for this. Take care. God bless again.